Hey, what's up? I'm your friend Joseph Craven. That over there is my friend, C Cards Alexander.
Ahoy.
The eBay preferred seller, the one and only. We sometimes call him Shark Harvey. Shark? That's it. Absolutely. We've been popping some Fleer 1990 basketball cards tonight because that's kind of what you like to do. We're just talking about hobbies tonight. Talking about things that we like to do. We have our different things we collect. I'm more of a vinyl record collector guy. You like the basketball cards and whatnot, but we kind of have similar philosophies, I think, to what we enjoy doing, why we do it. Why basketball? But specifically, why the like early '90s type basketball?
Real answer is just in my nature. It's the sport I like the most, and I grew up loving to play it. I didn't really care for any other sport. I really still don't, on a way that it appeals to me on a deeper level. And I love basketball, and that I'm a man. I'm 40. Believe it or not, perfect skin, but it is what it is. But no, I mean it's just from there's some nostalgia. It's from the era when I was a kid, and I love it. There's just something about it. I kind of feel cheesy getting back into it, and a lot of people did a couple of years ago with the economy, blah blah blah, all this stuff, and the card prices went up. Everybody wants to make tons of money off of it, and that was part of what I was thinking initially. Was like, oh, I've got all these cards in my attic, they're worth so much, and some of them are and most of them aren't, but it's just fun to do it. I tried to kind of think about why I liked it, but when you boil it down, it's just that I enjoy it. There's something about the art of the card, the players, the time, the design on the graphics, the logos, the way the cards smell, the fun of opening the pack.
Yeah,
if they're worth $0.00, I still love just doing it. It's fun.
It's what we were sitting around at a brewery before this, hanging out, and had like this box that we're kind of just working on here, on the
chewing on
stream,
it like a hoagie.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
No, please go ahead.
No, that was a mini seizure. That was not part of that. It was not a planned part of the show.
Unplanned,
unplanned mini seizure.
We didn't storyboard for that. Yeah, but it is something that's fun because I'm not a card collector. But last Christmas, my sister-in-law, as a gift, got me a handful of little cards. Some of them we went through, and I'm gonna refresh your memory on some of the ones that we found last year when we opened it up. And I just had fun with it. And I thought it would be fun to try it out. Also, it's an excuse for me to cut over to the card focus camera, which I've set up.
Wow, we got to come up with a jingle for that. Card camera, can you believe it?
You'll get caught up in that. Wait, no.
Card camera.
That one's taken. But we had some. This was from a Fleer 91.
That's not bad.
No.
You might could send that one in to get it graded. If you're a grading boy, that one looks pretty good.
What do you look for when you're trying to get a card graded?
So when I collected cards, I never thought about it. I don't think a lot of people did it. I don't know the timeline, but it's a relatively new, meaning in the last 15 or 20 years thing, where people send their cards in to companies like most people my age probably remember Beckett, the magazines. You could look up. Oh, yeah. Beckett is one of the bigger, not the biggest, but one of the bigger card companies that grades and authenticates cards. First, they say whether or not it's real. Because you got a lot of dirty, scammy boys in this hobby that just want to Sonic the Hedgehog style, just bump every coin out of your body that they can. But not everybody. But
dude, real quick,
Sonic, yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about Sonic.
Let's drive in for a change.
All right, never mind. I got nothing.
All right, yeah. You drive in for a change. Great palm trees. Any Sonic you go to around town.
Yeah.
I don't know how much the employees care to work there, the landscaping guys. They might love it, they might not. I'm telling you, every single one in the city, 2 choice palm trees.
No question.
Jim Mint Tim.
No question. Now, when's the last time you ate something from Sonic? Because I have a theory that no one actually truly eats food from Sonic anymore. And if you do, it's cheese sticks or jalapeno poppers, and there's nothing else.
That's true. I mean,
like, have you when's the last time you just were like, I need to throw down
like senior year of high school? Seriously.
Yeah.
20 something years ago.
Right. Because I think I lived in an apartment complex like across the street from a Sonic for a while, and I'm pretty sure it was like if I was going there for cheap. No, I take it back. I did go get breakfast there every so often.
Hey,
they had a pretty. It was an okay, and it was cheap sausage, egg, and cheese toaster.
Yeah,
that was it.
Coney Deal was my poison of choice. I would do high school basketball practice, run for 2 hours, lose 10 pounds of sweat, and then have a large sweet tea, a Coney Deal, and tots. Gain it all back, get in the bed, do it all over again. Hashtag Groundhog Day.
How did we survive high school? It's just the stuff that we...
Well, I got in on amphetamines early. So I just assume you did too. I don't know, but...
Not yet. I'm behind the curve, I guess.
You're buying low.
Yeah, I'm just my bad. Yeah, I was waiting. Exactly. The market was too hot. I was waiting till the amphetamine market dropped. And then I was going to jump in. So that was it for me, yeah.
But the grading companies, the point of those is... So you send your card in and they look at four main things. The edges of the cards, the corners of the cards, and then things you can't control. The centering, how it's printed in the centering, and then the surface, which you can kind of control that. But sometimes, as you saw earlier, you pull a card, especially these old ones, out of a pack and it's all scratched up and messed up. People think, I talk to people now who's like, people I work with as husbands. I've got all my cards from childhood, and that's awesome. That's fun to go through it. But generally when you find those cards, especially, like kids with chubby little fingers just smashing them into cases, they're not going to be in good enough shape for them to really be worth much. So the companies look at those things and they make a grade based off how they appraise those parts of a card.
That's what... when all the conversations we've had just sitting around talking about the stuff that we do enjoy, is that we come down to like this. There's this weird aspect and it's not new that like everyone wants to immediately get rich and never have to work again. It's not new that people are scheming, and that but it's weird that like the card stuff became a major scheme or scam or whatever, where like people are. That's their whole thing now is like trying to find that one card that's gonna like be able to sell for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and then they're like set for a while. And it's just very interesting because when you start like chasing that, it's like, what's the difference between that and a job? What's the difference between where does it go from collecting and the enjoyment of a hobby
or what a weird thing to pick to do that. Because to me, or maybe not, but to me, everything about those things is nostalgia and fun. There's a little bit of silliness about it, but I still love it. But to me, like if you're going to pick something to chase a big hit or to scam somebody on or to make money and you don't really love it, sports cards or cards is just such a... It's like, I can't imagine. I kind of like comics, but I'm like, I'm getting into comics, man. I'm going to buy so many Spider-Man first whatever, to make money off of like an investment. That just seems really, really strange. To me, if you don't like genuinely love cards, that you would get into it for that reason.
Right.
I can't relate to that really, honestly. I mean,
no. There was a span of time when I started, I mentioned like I really like record collecting, and when it became kind of a bigger hobby as well, it was kind of a similar thing where like, it really kind of just exploded where people were just making records of whatever album was popular at the time, so it's like, we'll just, Taylor Swift was popular then, she's popular now, but like, you had like people just going, what have you, I just really need to get this Taylor Swift album on vinyl. Because there's this like misconception of like, it just sounds better on vinyl, which isn't like scientifically true. But like that kind of helped me to figure out like the thought process of what do I actually like about it?
Yeah.
What do I actually enjoy? What am I actually aiming for? And it came down to like, I want to buy stuff I want to buy older stuff because I want to buy stuff that's from the era in which that was the way of listening. So like music when it was recorded to sound good on vinyl. And I want to buy stuff that I'm going to listen to. I'm not going to buy like an unopened Led Zeppelin record to just sit on a shelf and go, look how cool this is. It doesn't make sense to me. I want to at least use it, And I think it's the same way with the way you're kind of gathering cards.
I like to hold the actual card. I do send most of my cards that I like, and it's just kind of natural to like the ones that are in better shape. It's like you found a diamond in the rough, because especially with these older boxes, most of the cards you pull out brand new or straight from the pack, they're not in good shape. So when you find one, it's special, and then you kind of prep it yourself and send it off to get graded. And really, no matter the player, no matter the grade, it's kind of a fun process. I don't, I could never buy a box of cards and not open it immediately. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of a degenerate, and so I can't do that. But if I'm going to invest money, which I don't do that either, I wouldn't do it in that way. But yeah, that's the same. Like you were saying, it's the same thing with me trying to figure out how I like to do it. Because when you get back into it, and you're learning about the cards you had as a child, and then you see all these new cards, and you have your current players, you just want to buy everything. You just want to get everything you can. And I kind of learned, like, no, I have a few players I like, and those are the cards I want to collect.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if they turn out to not be great players, that's okay. I mean, I like, it's kind of like fantasy football in that way. You like kind of watching the guys you support, and you paid a little money to get these things.
Yeah.
But no, the concept, like you're saying, of buying something sealed and just kind of keeping it. I'm sure a lot of people, when the card stuff blew up 2 years ago, made a lot of money with sealed boxes of cards.
Yep.
That might not have yielded anything worth any money once you open the box, but it's not ever going to be me. And if that's a flaw, then put me behind bars, J. Edgar Hoover. Is he still running?
Calling you out.
He's calling
you out.
Please, J. Edgar Hoover.
J. Edgar, I beg
Step to me.
Step to me, J.
Step to me. But you were talking about earlier people scheming.
I'm still talking about Jedgar Hoover.
Jedgar Hoover.
That was his name, right?
Yeah, from the Beverly Hillbillies. First thing you know, Jedgar Hoover's a millionaire. That's the lyrics, right?
It was the tune, kind of.
Yeah.
Right? First thing
Pennywise the Clown. Well, how's the rest of it go?
I don't care anymore. I just like the fact that the opening lyric is, first thing you know. That's
First thing you know, that's how people used to be, man. They just tell you what you know. You got no chance. But, people have been scheming forever, though. Going back to that.
That they have.
I mean, Edgar Allan Poe, man, every story he wrote
was a scheme?
Everybody was scheming.
Yeah, that's true.
Think about it.
Speaking of which, I just cracked open a fresh cask of Amontillado card right here.
Oh, yeah? Gin Mint 10?
Gin Mint 10. No, let's just look at, again, this is from last year.
Oh.
The stuff that I got.
Hey, that looks pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not
bad at all.
Not a bad MJ. This is the 91 All-Star Fleer.
Yeah, I like that.
And people like Fleer, right? That's one of the companies people really get into.
Yeah, so 1986 Fleer is considered probably the most notable.
And this is what's interesting. Like, that's the front.
Looks pretty well centered.
You were talking about centering.
Yeah.
Front, like, you want to look at the way that it goes up against the edges.
I don't know how that gray line's supposed to be there, but
I don't know either. But
Bat guy didn't show up that day.
Bat guy did not. Bat guy took the day off. That thing is so off.
Generally, the companies care less about the back. The face of the card is more important, but that's so far off center. They would have to ding you a little bit.
Yeah.
What an interesting card design. There's a lot going on there. A couple of different fonts. Just a yellow block out of nowhere. That gray line on the top for some reason.
Then this just like PSA Michael Jordan out here, like, don't do drugs.
Is that a towel, you think, or he's got like a...
I think they took that picture in a sauna.
He's in the snow.
I think he was actively in the sauna.
His head's popping out of the snow.
Here's another one from that. This one, talk about the centering, man.
Oh yeah, that's a checklist.
This is the checklist.
That's not bad.
It's not bad centering on that thing.
That's a cool card.
Yeah. Get it kind of.
I like that.
Up a bit. Yeah. It's kind of got this like illustrated look on it, which is pretty cool.
He just took that ball right out of his last name.
Yep. But yeah, like you mentioned, it's a checklist. And this was something that like I thought was fascinating, knowing nothing about card collecting, is that like that's something they would put in like some of the packs, is to get the checklist so you knew what was in.
Yeah.
Like that entire run, that entire series.
I love that, man. Going back, the Fleer sets to me are like, for my age, depending on when you started collecting, there's Tops where it was before Fleer for a long time. There's this kind of stadium set that's lower print run called Star that I really love, that has very cool colors and cool inserts that aren't as well or as collected as much, but I love them. But Fleer kind of was, you're younger than me, but like through my childhood up until like the.
I'm younger than you and proud of it.
Yeah, he should be.
I rub it in quite often that I'm.
Hey, but I saw the Grim Reaper driving up, and he told me. He didn't tell me who was going to die first, but let's just say
he gave you a knowing look.
Yeah,
you're like, dude, am I?
Well, he gave me a look.
Well, I'll never tell.
Yeah, I couldn't really determine what he was. I acted like I knew what he was saying, just so he'd leave me alone. He's huge.
Yeah, big guy. People underestimate. We were watching Muppet Christmas Carol last night. Grim Reaper, man. Ghost of Christmas Future, Grim Reaper, looking at solid 8.5, 9 feet tall.
Yeah, he's huge.
Easy. He made Michael Caine look like a child.
Yes,
and that says a lot because Michael Caine, people don't realize, 6'10", huge guy. No one knows.
Huge. Batman, 7'10".
Yeah,
because he was Pennyworth, right? What was his name? Alfred Pennyworth.
Yeah, that's it. Alfred. I don't know I think it was singular, one penny, not two pennies. Pennyworth. Yeah,
I knew that.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah. But Fleer, I like Fleer. Hard to beat Fleer. It's like for my era of collecting cards. That's just like that's the one. That's special.
I love it. Here's another card that I was going to show real quick before we actually start talking about some of the new stuff. Yeah,
I can see it.
Because this one's really cool. Because explain what it is that's cool about this particular Sam Vincent card.
So Sam Vincent was kind of I'm not trying to talk shit. Cuss. Well, Sam Vincent or his legacy or his life or if he's alive, I'm not sure. I hope he's thriving and has a vibrant, active life.
Yep.
But Jordan's in there, and the story. I think he's number 12. I can't.
Yeah, it's 12.
I have terrible vision, but his jersey was stolen before the game, and he had to wear an alternate Bulls uniform. And that's the only card, even though it's not his card, he's prominently pictured in it, and he's wearing number 12. Only time you could ever see that. So people really collect that card a lot too. That's a popular card from the 90s.
Yeah, it was. It's hilarious to look at. Just right here.
Oh, there he is.
The jersey got stolen before the game, and so. Yeah, he just had to rock a number 12 with no name on it. It was like a spare practice jersey or something like that.
I heard Shaq stole it because he needed a napkin to wipe his giant face with.
Probably so. I mean, is that Horace? Who's number 33 in the Magic? He's not wearing goggles, so that's not.
That's pre-Shaq.
Pre-Shaq, so that's.
I bet if you gave me a second, I can think of it.
This is one of our things that we like to do is try to come up with random NBA trivia stuff, but
give me a minute. I'll pop back over. I don't know. That's tough.
What year was that?
90. Well, the card's 90, so the picture's from 89.
89. Wait, no. This was from a different pack. This was not from the 90 pack. The Sam Vincent was from a different pack. It was.
That's hoops, though. It should be the same.
Oh, you're right.
Not trying to flex my 1990s basketball card knowledge. That's hoops. I'm not as big of a hoops guy. I didn't understand the coloring but I digress.
No, it's all good. I'm just trying to find, and it. I don't know. It just doesn't.
His name's like Sam something. I'll find it.
It doesn't say when it was. That's so weird. So weird. All right, so we were just opening some from the 1990 Fleer collection, the Fleer collection.
Yeah.
And that's what it looks like.
Oh yeah, pop that live on film.
Sweet wax packaging. We're big fans of that.
That's Terry Catledge, by the way.
Terry Catledge. All right, I'm gonna pop it live on film. So you always open it up, and it's just fun. I just enjoy opening it up. I don't know a thing about the value of any of those. I know a lot of the players because I like you, huge basketball fan, love the sport, love 90s basketball. Don't always agree with people that want to claim it was the golden era of basketball. It was a great era of basketball.
40s.
The 40s.
You know?
Yeah, you just know. If you know, you know. If you're a true connoisseur of a man of fine taste, you love that 1940s.
I like the way how they took their time. They're not making every shot. They want to kind of tease you with it. It's like a romance. It's like it's like when you meet a woman. You don't just you can't just take her to the nicest restaurant and spit your best game on the first night. You got to kind of weave through the relationship. You can't make every shot.
No.
You can't be athletic all the time.
Right.
I mean, you got to take your time going up and down the court. There's a beautiful sensual side of the way they played basketball in the 40s.
Those guys knew their limits. And I think there's nothing more romantic and sensual than knowing your limits.
And there's never been a set of white guys that put so much product in their hair to play sports. I mean, just like...
Well, they had to. They had to go immediately from that to like the GI Hall or wherever, because they were all like in the army actively. Yeah. So like that was their side. They had to look respectable.
Or they were all like going with Biff to the dance to beat up Marty McFly's dad.
Crispin Glover, we're coming for you. Jedgar Hoover and Crispin Glover. They're on our list.
You pop that one live, and I'm going to pop one behind the scenes.
I love it.
And we'll see who gets what.
I love it. So you open it up. It's that good wax. You immediately get the back card, and we've got a Mark Eaton. May he rest in peace. Love Mark Eaton. Yeah. He was one of the guys I loved in the 90s, almost entirely because he was 7'4".
Yeah, his name says it all.
Yep. Mark B. Eaton. There's a Ricky Pierce.
Beautiful mustache, underrated player.
Absolutely.
Hey, we got two beautiful mustaches in a row.
1990 Fleer keeping the stash alive. There's old Never Nervous Purvis.
Hey, that's not centered too poorly compared to most of so we might have some. Oh, I got some good stuff too.
All right, I like it.
Grant Long.
Horace Grant Long. There's that Danny Ferry of him clearly wearing a Duke jersey that they airbrushed the Duke name off of, which I think is hilarious because if you look, you pointed this out to me when we got one earlier. It just says played in Europe. Yep.
Deal with it.
Byron Irvin.
Come on, man.
A lot of these guys aren't all that interesting. There's old AC Green. He was a good player.
It's a nice looking card.
Yeah. Good contrast. Good.
Yeah, these are looking all right. Interesting picture they chose there. He's just kind of going after a loose ball. I think that's Bill Winnington maybe that's got his hand in there.
I think that is a younger Bill Winnington. Was Bill Winnington? This
never
is
young.
Bill Winnington, one of those who was never a young man.
He was 33 when he was born.
Yeah. He came out a dude, and he is still to this day a dude.
Oh, yeah.
All right, AC Green.
Come on.
There's that Horace Grant.
It's a decent pack. It's fun.
It's a good lineup of people, not necessarily valuable cards from what I can tell, but a good lineup of players. Eddie Johnson, forgot about him. There's old Mark Jackson. With all due respect, that's my very bad Mark Jackson. I'm sorry. I feel like I actually need to apologize to Mark Jackson.
It's kind of like a Tony Soprano.
Yeah, it really
Christopher, with all due respect. Christopher, calm. All right, that's all I got with that. Who else?
There was some guy on TikTok maybe I saw recently who had like an entire series of videos that was just how mafia dudes breathe in mob movies. And it was just a whole lot of like, you come to my house today, like disrespecting my family.
They have heart disease. They can barely oxygenate their blood. I'm not trying to be all medical or anything like that, but I've looked into the science. I've done my research. Now you do yours.
Hey, speaking of good mustaches, James Edwards. You can't see it as well in this, but trust me, look at a straight-on photo of James Edwards. Man had the horseshoe.
Got some ladies in the front row, too. Good for him.
Good for him.
It's his mom.
Yeah, I think so. There's Scott Brooks.
Coach Scott Brooks.
Traded to Minnesota, like we all, as we always call him.
As we all have been.
All traded to Minnesota, Scott Brooks. That was his nickname throughout his career. It's like every week. And there's a Reggie Miller.
That one looks all right.
Yeah. Not too bad centering.
Yeah.
Pretty centered up.
It's hard to find a perfect one.
It's good Pacers colors, though.
Oh, yeah.
That was a good Pacers era for jerseys, I think.
Yeah. The generic knee brace goes well with the uniform.
Yes, it does.
Joe Klein.
Meet Joe Klein. And then I think we got that Mark Eaton.
Hey,
there he is.
Big boy.
And
Ricky
it's kind
Pierce.
of poetic. I was going to say, it's poetic. The last card of this pack is him probably blocking, maybe fouling the first card of the pack.
Wow.
Ricky Pierce. Poetry.
I bet those were taken at the same game.
I think, honestly, probably so. Yeah. What you got in yours? You want to?
Oh, I got nothing great.
Okay. First you got excited at the first.
I did. I thought the coloring is good on all the cards, but they're just so off center, and there's nobody that's any good. Like if your pack was a team, you would destroy my team by 100 points.
Well, I mean, Mark Eaton would block.
He would eat them.
Yeah, he would eat them. Mark Eaton would eat them.
I really have nobody at all.
Okay. No one worth showing off in that pack in
No,
particular?
I'll pop another one real quick.
Pop another one. While you pop another one, I'm gonna show off something here. Because I did have, having no interest in cards, I did have kind of what you were talking about earlier, an interest in things that like mean something to me, you know? So like the guys that like I enjoy, there's some sort of like sentimental value, right? Mm-hmm. Sentimental value stuff. So I do have some cards that I have gotten from over the years. They are all just like Mississippi State related, being a Mississippi State fan. But like that was a signed rookie of Benardrick McKinney, who had a really good career with the Houston Texans. Played with them for a solid 6-7 seasons, something like that. And he was an outstanding linebacker in college. So I had one of those just because I like him. This is I have a handful of cards from Dante Jones, 21st pick in the 96 draft. And the reason I had this is because that 96 Mississippi State team, talking about our love of the sport, 96 Mississippi State team was the team that got me into the sport of basketball. And it was because of Dante Jones. I loved this dude. Loved watching him play.
That's a cool looking card.
He was a super athletic 6'7" small forward.
Is he in front of the curtain from Twin Peaks?
I think so.
Like he's about to go behind and go back to the last one. Look at the lady in like the suit. The black suit with the white shirt. Look at her.
Oh, man. She's stepping straight out of an episode of Seinfeld.
It's like they're playing in front of Congress.
No, you know who that is?
Who's that?
That's Fraser Crane's wife.
Mrs. Fraser Crane?
That's her. What was her name? From whenever he was on Cheers, before he got divorced in Frasier. I know
Penelope?
I know a lot more about
Phoebe?
the life and times of Fraser Crane than I should.
And there's probably a billion people out there that know more than us.
That's true.
Hey, that's
There's
a
a
nice
signed
one.
Dante Jones.
I like that.
With Eric Dampier, who played in the NBA for like 20 years.
Yeah.
And then is currently an assistant basketball coach.
Local legend. Yeah.
Yep. But then this is one I got just because I thought it was cool. And I didn't know anything. I almost just said I didn't know nothing about the pack. I didn't know anything about the series. But this is an Upper Deck glass.
Oh, cool.
Yep. And so it's very thick. Like this is legitimately, like you can kind of see in there, like that's all card. It's
Where'd you get that?
Glass card. So there's this guy that would go to Mississippi State athletic events with a bunch of memorabilia, cards, and I actually have sitting around here, I think over my bookshelf, a program from the 96 Final Four. That was a Christmas gift I got from my folks, which was a really cool Christmas gift as well. But got that. And it was all just from him. He would just show up at like football games and set up this table like outside of the bookstore and sell these things. And what's interesting about this UD glass series, like you notice down here in the corner, they made 1,100 of them. This is number 500 out of 1,100. They made a lot of them because he was Derek Zimmerman, who is now I think he's still an assistant coach at Mississippi State. Good player, but like not drafted, all that. But this, of course, is the glass series from 2003, 2004. So this is something Upper Deck used to do for like all like the like incoming like rookies and all of that.
Yeah, I like those.
Which means that you have, for example, 2003, 2004, you have like the UD glass LeBron James.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so it's the same style. Like this is going to be a really thick card that's made out of like this like glass or whatever.
It's like an acetate card.
And all that. But you see, this thing's selling for a few grand. You know,
Yeah,
so it's the same line of cards. It's fascinating.
I was kind of out of collecting cards and really sports in general around that time when LeBron was a rookie. But yeah, that's around the time Upper Deck especially. They just have tons of different sets that have, you know, it might have been before, but like parts of the jersey inserted in the card or parts of a net or acetate autograph cards like that. And that to me is just like going back in time now where, you know, it's just unlimited stuff now with the sets that come out, just crazy stuff. But going back and looking at when those kind of cards first started, like those types we were just talking about, back in the early 2000s or mid 2000s. There's some really, really, really cool stuff like that. Which, man, when I was a kid, if they would have had that, like when I was collecting cards initially, I would have just robbed a bank and slaughtered a whole town and taken all the cards away to a cave.
Would have been like absolute,
just
like
pandemonium.
Straight, you would become like a crime against humanity in and of yourself.
I would glue the Upper Deck glass cards to my skin, and I would just be like a mutant trading card supervillain that just sucked the soul out of small town America. My never-ending appetite for terror.
For terror. Here, let me ask you a question. This is a Larry Bird from the 1990 pack that we were pulling earlier.
Not bad.
Yeah, not bad. Here's a Larry Bird from last year. Apparently, I was given a few 1990 packs.
He still got it. I would say the one in your right hand's definitely centered better, and we just pulled it, so I know the coloring and the surfaces on it's really good. It's not perfectly centered, but I've seen like these older ones. If you've got it close and everything else checks out really well, sometimes you'll get that perfect grade, and that's what we're all chasing, right?
Yeah, in life.
Yeah, I mean,
is that a metaphor? Did you drop in a metaphor? You have to be clear with me. I don't understand these things. Mm-hmm. Is it a metaphor or is it just a straightforward literal comment?
Neither. It's a simile because I used like or as. Is that a simile?
That's it. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We're done. We're done. That's it with the show.
I speak in riddles, so. But I would say the one in your right hand was definitely better. And we're going to send them both in and we'll find out.
We'll find out. Yeah. We'll find out. Did you have anything in that pack you popped a second ago?
Yeah, it looks pretty. All the cards are pretty well centered. Let's see if I'm going to put my mic down and see if I've got any superstars.
Love it. While you do that, I'm going to show off just over here on this camera.
It's literally the same players.
You're right. It's the same players.
But much better centered.
So better centered, same players. I'm going to show off. We did pull some of the 1990 All-Star cards, which these things people will like these because these are the ones that people like to get, like try to get a full set of decent quality. Like I have all the 1990 Fleer All-Stars and they're all pretty well centered. Like these aren't, but like it's still somebody might want to have these just because they want to complete the set. Maybe they have the 2 or 3 that they love in a really good quality, really well centered, all of that, and they just want to complete the set with whatever they got. So like these have some sort of value, more so for the people that are like just trying to collect what they want to collect.
They're less common and they're really hard to get in a really good like mint condition grade. And Fleer, so kind of like you have inserts, like all these cards we've been showing are kind of just the normal cards, but now it's very common just to have like unlimited inserts that are variations of the common card or variations that are different colors or different styles of the typical card you get in the pack. But from what I can remember, those All-Star cards are kind of like one of the first types of inserts, and they were actually stickers before this year, like up until like 1986, 87, 88. Those 89 inserts were actual stickers that you could peel the back off and stick them to, your folder or your locker. These look like stickers, they're often like listed on eBay as stickers, but they're not. They just look different. They kind of look like the sticker, but they're not actually something you can peel. But those cards you were just showing are one of my. I have the whole set in a gem mint grade just because I love them, and I have a few small sets that I like to collect and get them, and some of the ones that I have are. I actually pulled them out of packs and sent them in to get them graded. So it's kind of fun when you do that.
It's part of it's the thrill of the hunt,
Oh yeah.
Like part of the hobby is just legitimately enjoying finding a pack like this on eBay that was like not really all that expensive, especially compared to how it was like a year ago.
Oh man.
That like you're buying a whole box of packs because this is 36 packs. We opened a little over half of them or so.
Yeah.
Earlier before we started recording, but 36 packs, and you've got it would have been several $100s for the whole box a year ago.
Yeah, like in the peak of the COVID 2020, not to date us, but I would think maybe up to $400, if $450 or so, maybe even more for this kind of box. This one had a little dent in the outside, which I've learned that too. Like, it doesn't always matter. Like, I've bought enough boxes now where you buy a box that just looks pristine, it's perfect. Sometimes you should worry if it looks too perfect, like on eBay if you're buying it, because it could be repacked. We talked about like the nefarious people in the hobby and in the world, they do that. Or it could just be they're all stuck together and the cards are printed poorly and they're dinged up. And then like this one, I mean, for this set, you know, this one was pretty cheap. I think it was $70, where it would have been like $400 a couple of years ago. And the box was dented, but all the cards are in pretty good shape. I mean,
it's just insane.
Yeah. It's a little bit of a gamble. I mean, common sense says don't get the one that's dented, but, you know, for a good price and working for us.
Yeah. Hey, and that's also another thing about it, is you just said it's kind of a gamble. A lot of people love the gambling aspect of it. There's some people that kind of have just a thrill of like digging into, you know, it's not just the hunt for the perfect card, but it's also, I'm going to buy this mystery pack because it might be. Or there's that weird trend of like people will have like a box,
a break.
Yeah, they call it a break. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's
like boxes.
Like a box break?
Like boxes today are not like they used to be. So a box now, there's so many different sets. A box is not nearly as many cards as like what we're seeing right now with this box. You know, some boxes are 2 cards in a box, like 2 cards, and you're hoping that they're both pretty valuable players. They could be not at all. Some boxes might have, you know, 6 packs or 4 packs, but boxes these days are not nearly as stuffed with cards as they used to be. Thanks
a lot, inflation.
Yeah, eat it. So people buy, especially the higher end cards, because like some of these boxes of the higher end cards that are made now are, you know, cost, or they're resold for on the secondary market for like $10,000, just a ridiculous amount of money. So instead of buying the box, you go in with 30 other people and you say, I'll pay $300 and I get, you know, I get the Celtics. So anybody that's pulled out of the box that's a Celtics player is yours. I've never really done those. I don't get too into those. You know, the prices,
because you're not a Celtics fan.
No, I mean,
because that's the one specific rule is in every box break there has to be one Celtics fan involved.
That's it.
That's the unwritten rule. In collecting is like
two Jedgar Hoover fans.
That's it.
Somebody's watching The Grinch the whole time. They don't even pay attention what's going on.
What's your favorite Christmas movie, or what do you think is the best one? I don't know. You can go either way with that question. There's 2 very distinct questions. Which is the best, but which is your favorite? Like, I think more and more people need to be better at answering both of those questions, you know?
Yeah.
Or differentiating.
It's a good way to look at it.
So answer me however you want to answer me, but like Christmas movies, what do you think?
There's a Nicolas Cage movie. I get them confused because there's the Weatherman, I think, and then Family Man. And I think Family Man is the one where he's like a really successful business guy. He lives downtown in Chicago or whatever town they live in. And he wakes up one day and he's in the life that he was very close to having, which is not nearly as glamorous as the one that he was living. And it's actually a great movie. It's a heartwarming movie. Nicolas Cage is in it. He's hilarious. I think it's awesome. Die Hard's awesome. That's a cheesy thing. And some people, that we don't have to go down that road, but some people don't. You know, the Die Hard Christmas thing, whatever. But that to me is just it's a fun movie to watch at any time. And Bruce Willis that's kind of his prime, his peak, and he's crawling around in those ducks. Yeah. And I mean, you just can't beat that.
You can't.
For my dollar.
Yeah. I mean, like, honestly, if Christmas is a central theme to a movie, it doesn't have to be that the movie's about like the spirit of Christmas or something like. It doesn't have to be that, but like if Christmas is a central theme, then it is kind of a Christmas movie, right? It has to be, because Christmas is an active like part of it. Like the entire point of Die Hard is there is a party, a Christmas party in a company's office.
It has the Christmas feel to it the whole time. Like I like that. I'm not crazy about Home Alone. Maybe I've just seen it too much, but I do like that nasty Santa that gives him the candy cane. That scene where that Santa comes out of that, just whatever that place is. See, I always used to think as a kid, like, what is that place that he's coming out of? Because it's like a Santa's village that was added to the town, but it's an actual building he's coming out of. Like, did they build this just for this week, but it's sturdy enough that he's like in it and doing stuff? I don't know. It's like I was always obsessed with where that guy was coming out of. Anyway, what's your answer to the question?
I mentioned it earlier, but I think Muppet Christmas Carol.
Oh man,
might be my favorite.
That's a good one.
I love the songs.
Yeah,
it's genuinely a good adaptation of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol.
It's not too long. It's like maybe 45 minutes or 50 minutes or something.
No, it's over an hour.
Oh, I saw that. I saw the abridged version.
You saw the Cliff's Notes presents the Muppet Christmas Carol is what you witnessed. I don't know how you found that.
The Muppets Cliff's Notes Carol.
And let me ask you this question also, Steve, real quick. Throw it up on the screen. 7 minutes left. Do we need a bid?
Oh, God. $75, huh?
Yeah.
That's more than we paid for ours.
Okay. It was literally right before I hit the button to put it up on the screen. It was $67. So someone just bid on that.
I think for our next one, we should get one that's still old school, but maybe a little more modern, because the cards will be in exponentially better shape. Like, most of the cards you pull out are close to being mint condition, whereas here you're
what are we talking about? What would be
like something from the mid 90s would be better, or early 2000s. The closer you get to the 2000s, the cards in general should be consistently printed and centered much better than what we're seeing here. These Fleer sets from the 80s and 1990 are the absolute worst as far as consistency and that kind of thing.
because there was nothing. It was just for fun. It was like a kid's hobby at this point.
Right.
It was like
it was like Mr. Fleer's son was running the print machine, just like turning it on and turning it off.
You get the card because you wanted to look at the back and see the stats, because you didn't have the internet. You didn't want to pull up whatever stats mailer you had to subscribe to, I guess, and you wanted to see like the little write up about Jeff Malone averaged over 20 points per game in the fifth straight season. You want to see stuff like that. It was
just having the player, just having a picture of the player, and it didn't matter what. As a kid, I never thought about like the centering and the surface. If you had the card, it was great, and that was it.
Cards at this point were a dime a dozen.
Yeah,
it was something that you did, and especially with basketball cards, because baseball cards were always the thing. Baseball cards. You can go back to baseball cards were like. That was a collector's thing from 100 years ago.
Yeah.
So that's like always been a thing, but it was not. Basketball was a newer thing to really get into. Basketball, football type cards, and they didn't really have the same sort of value, or at least the same amount of crazy people involved in them. It's like similar to sitting behind me. I've got some Star Wars toys, right? It's like the people that had grown up by the time you hit the 90s into the 2000s, the people that had grown up with these cards wanted more serious like card collecting as a hobby, right?
Yeah.
It's like the kids had grown up and they wanted more serious things. Same as how like I had Star Wars toys when I was a kid, and nowadays I'm like, I like the Star Wars Black Series figures because they're more detailed. It's the toys I wish I had 20 years ago. No, I was 14 20 years ago. I wasn't really collecting action figures when at 14. It's the cars it's the toys I wish I had 25 years ago.
Yeah.
And now I think it's the same sort of philosophy maybe with the cards. I don't know. That was a theory I just worked off the top of my head. It could be way off.
I was kind of obsessed pumped that I found Terry Catledge. The guy from the Pick. Dude, he was averaging 19 points a game that year where he's in that picture with Jordan. 563 rebounds.
That's incredible. You found the guy.
The guy. He led the NCAA in rebounding his senior season at South Alabama.
Wow.
This guy.
South Alabama. What city?
Local boy. Mobile.
It is? It is Mobile?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Oh, yeah. I'm a Sun Belt boy now. Come on now. I've been in the Sun Belt for a year now. I know it all. That's where USM just played their bowl game.
Where Frank Gore Jr. ran for 793 yards in one game.
Hashtag Auntie Chill.
Welcome to the Auntie Chill podcast.
Chill Bowl.
I'm Chill Auntie Joseph. That's Chill Auntie Steve over there.
I've got a huge... I've got something big in this pack.
Uh-oh.
Well, it's not too big, but I did get. You've gotten more All-Star cards than me so far.
Yeah.
But I just snagged one, and it's not perfect, but I got a little John Stockton.
Ooh, All-Star Johnny Stocks.
Beautiful pink back. Like I said, let's just make the back pink. Why not?
Why not?
Hey, what color's
what
the
else
front
we
of
got
the
going
card?
on?
It's every color. What color do you want the back to be? Pink. It looks great. It's a beauty. Just obsessed with these. What you got over there?
What I was just looking to see. I'm trying to see what the other brands were. What like give me like a year or a brand that would be worth looking into on eBay.
So there's a set 1993 Fleer Ultra is what I used to call it, but people just really call it Ultra. It's kind of when Fleer started making their cards a little bit nicer, a little bit the finish on the cards different and waxier. But there's an insert set called Scoring Kings. It's very rare, and it's just like the picture of a player with lightning behind them. And they're like soaring through the air, and it's a lot of players, but Michael Jordan especially is the one that's the hit that people go after. Card's very valuable. You can get a box of those cards for a couple $100, and for what those cards are worth, those Scoring Kings cards, I think that's a pretty fair deal. But you could get, that's a good one, a Fleer Ultra, or there's a Topps Finest. Was I think started in 1994, 95. Those cards are pretty cool.
Yeah, like this is the Ultra you're talking about.
Jumbo box, yeah.
So that's still that's interesting. The price difference. The one that was ending in 8 minutes a minute ago was selling for $75, probably up to $100 or so bucks, and this one is 5 days from now, and it's already, or they're starting it at almost $300.
Yeah,
and kind of looking through, I think there's like other ones that's like
there's that Scoring Kings card though,
yep.
And that's just raw.
It's literally got a bad corner to it. Is what it says.
That set's notorious, and sometimes these cards too stick together. I bought a box of these 92, which was Shaq's rookie year, and a lot of the cards were stuck together. So that might have just been a one-off, but these cards should be in better shape out of the pack. And of course, it's like Jordan's still there, Pippen. I don't think there's any great rookie card. I think that was Anthony Hardaway and Chris Webber's rookie year, so there's no great rookie cards.
But you would have had like a second year Shaq?
Yeah, Shaq's in there, Jordan's in there. They have insert cards that are people like to chase those. So and they just I think the reason more than anything is for that Scoring King set, and the cards are going to be in better shape in general when you pull them out of the pack, just way better shape.
Yeah.
But maybe we could find and then Upper Deck too.
Yeah, of course.
Starts in like 1991 or 92. Those are generally in much better shape than these out of the pack too. Like it's.
Do you find, because obviously like the difference between things, and like the brands, and what all those like details and all of that. Do you find it like entertaining to learn that sort of stuff, like about the hobby? Like what makes it so like you're like, oh, I want to figure out which ones are. It's like the difference between the Fleers and the Upper Decks. Besides, like you like the Fleer because that's what you like to begin with, and it's got the value to you.
Yeah.
But like, what made you want to learn all this?
It's interesting that like when I was a kid and looking back on the sets from when I was a kid and what was valuable and what I thought was good, it's just total. I was just in my head, I guess. But now when you look at what people like and what is more valued than some other thing, it's kind of arbitrary. Like it there's no real logic to it for some of the stuff. Just cards can be in different colors, like the same card printed in different colors, and this color is generally worth more than this color, which is arbitrary. Cards are numbered, like that glass card you showed, and like if it's just arbitrarily 23 out of 1,000, even though it's not a Michael Jordan card, that'll probably sell for a little more than 24, or if it's 1, or if it's 1,000 out of 1,000.
Yeah, like a unique number. Yeah,
right. A unique number is cool. There are more things that are just totally arbitrary that are slipping my mind right now, but it's just stuff I never would have thought about as a kid. I remember, there was a top set called Top Stadium Club, which was the most expensive card that I could afford when I was a kid. And now those cards graded are worth about the same as these cards graded. And I remember like the packs were, 3 times more. And it's kind of funny to see that now, because you wonder in the future, is that going to be the same reality for current cards?
Yeah.
So sometimes I take that into account when I buy current cards. I don't really worry about what the hype is for the card now because I think that won't exist in 20 years. So if I've got a rookie that I really want to watch play his whole career, I might get a numbered card that's very low, like 1 out of 5, from a set that's not as sought after right now because I feel like at the end of his career, hopefully that guy like Anthony Edwards, I love if he pans out and he's won an MVP and maybe a championship. No one's going to remember, this hoops set and what people thought about it when it was produced. Or, a lot of times the cards now when they're produced, they come out in a certain order. Earlier in the year means cards that are kind of less valuable, less sought after. Later in the year are the more valuable cards. Nobody's going to remember that, right. Down the road. So that's a thing that I think is arbitrary and people won't really think about it much as time goes on, or maybe they will. I don't know. But that's something I think about when I kind of look at buying cards now too. Is I think a lot of this stuff is just totally arbitrary. It's based on hype. It's people say stuff on social media. Here's a type of card that I like, and here's why, and they hype it up, and then maybe 3 or 4 more people do it, and you'll see sales on eBay where that card will just spike. But I don't know. It all goes back to the thing where you should just, to me, collect the cards you like. Yeah. Collect the players you like. I for modern players, I like the current sets that are more simple. There's a Panini is the company that does them all now, and Prism is the main set that people love. It looks like they're breaking out of like a Carmen Sandiego futuristic jail that was illustrated in the 90s. Like if you pull up just pull up any 2020 and select Anthony Edwards rookie card. Or whatever, any of the cards. I don't understand the graphics at all. So to me, there's no appeal visually or aesthetically to the card. So
this?
Yeah, I just don't understand. It's like phallic. What? It's like he's busting out of a Marvel Comics jail. I don't understand what any of that stuff is. I love Anthony Edwards. Yeah, and that's a cool picture of him. But I would, and if you want to look up, that's like a silver. Variation, but do 2020 Panini Hoops Anthony Edwards, and this is a card that's not nearly as valuable. Yeah, just any of those. But to me, it's it's old school. Yeah, the back is just all white and black. It's simple, and that kind of reminds me of the cards that were being made when I was young. So I like that set better. Hoops was around when I was a kid, and I like that too. But yeah, some of the newer things, I'm like, what is the design? Yeah. What are they going
it's just compare that to this Purvis short, right? It's just there's just similar simple framing. Yeah.
Yep.
A picture and the player and the name. Yeah. It's not overly complicated. That's very interesting. Mm-hmm. It's very interesting.
I like it.
Yeah. That's, fascinating. What, how many packs you got left over there?
I got a baker's dozen. You got a few? You need a few? Is that what you're calling out?
I got 4. I only opened 1 on screen. I know you.
I've got 6.
You got 6?
Yeah.
Just toss 1 over to me.
Pack battle.
Sure-handed. Just give me 1 extra. Yeah, I'm gonna open 1 right now. But first,
let's do it.
I'm popping it open. I'm not looking at the player's name. I'm gonna tell you their bio. I'm gonna see if you know who they are. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Born March 15th. No, you're not going to know that. Height 6'9", weight 240, from DePaul University. They were drafted first round pick number 2 by San Diego in 1982. 6'9", 240. And I will tell you who...
Terry Cummings.
I hadn't even... It's literally still in the pack.
Yeah.
I swear I promise. And there it is. Robert Terrell Cummings. I hadn't even pulled out the card yet. That's awesome.
You had me at 234 pounds. Is that how much you weigh? 230?
240. 6'9", 240. You got I love the fact... I'm so happy that the San Antonio Spurs, by the way, brought back the Fiesta logo this year.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
In this set, that card's super cool, too, because there's a red, white, or there's a red and blue border, and then you throw that pink, that Spurs pink on there.
That is cool.
That's a super cool card.
Yeah, it's not a really cool card.
Not a bad centered card.
No, it's not. The problem is with it is it has bent corner down here.
Ugh.
Yep. But I'm gonna roll through some cards. I'm gonna open up this pack and.
Yeah, I'm kind of going through some. I got a check person. I got 2 Moses Malones in a row.
Solid.
That's a blessing.
Yeah. You and I are both big Moses apologists.
We are
big fans of Mo.
One of the most underrated players of all time.
I got Detlef. I got a Detlef earlier today as well.
I got a sick Manute Bowl that's in really good shape.
Nice. There's a Robert Parrish.
We're sending this in.
There's we talked about there are several players in this series that were traded from the Jazz to the Kings. Like Eric Lechner is not the only one.
I think they just traded the whole team.
I think so. Well, they had to make room because this was apparently the year that the Jazz traded for Jeff Malone from the Bullets.
Okay.
Because we pulled a Jeff Malone card earlier.
So they were clearing some cap room.
That I snagged, yeah. Oh yeah, here it is right here. We pulled a Jeff Malone earlier. That was Bullets traded to Utah. And so they were trying to get Jeff Malone to be an extra scorer alongside Stockton and Karl Malone because that was when the Jazz were the Jazz were trying to really go all in the early 90s while Stockton and Malone were still. Are those was that
Stockton and Malone?
That's a Stockton and a Malone.
I just had a Jazz super pack. I didn't want to interrupt you, but I had a Stockton and a Malone all-star.
And I got the Mark Eaton earlier, which is pretty great. So whoops, wrong button. So we've got the all-star Stockton and Malone. I've got a Mark Eaton over here, and I've got a Jeff Malone just traded from the Bullets to the Jazz card.
We need a Blue Edwards and a Tyrone Corbin, and we've got a 6-man rotation.
Yes, we do. Didn't we get Blue Edwards earlier?
Yeah,
but he wasn't on the Jazz yet at that point, was he?
Anyway. I think he was. I don't know.
I didn't think so.
I'll say yes.
I'm gonna roll through the rest of this real quick. Otis Thorpe. There's a Dominique Wilkins.
That's a nice picture. That guy's got a hold of his belly, doesn't he?
Yes.
Or does he? He does, yeah. Is that Adrian Dantley?
Yeah, I think he's helping him.
Yeah.
I think he lifted him up.
It was like a WWF scenario where he turns on his own team and he beats them all to death with a chair.
There's Harvey Grant. That's Jarian and Jamari Grant's father.
Nice guy.
There's Ron Harper. That's Ron Harper Jr.'s father. There's Rod Higgins. I don't know if he had kids that played basketball or not. Don't know enough about Rod Higgins. There's Sidney Green. Forget he existed. No idea who that even is. But
nice looking card, though.
Yeah, nice looking card, and gotta love those Nets jerseys.
Yeah, those are sick.
Like, you gotta love the fact that those jerseys were so iconic that the Nets, even in the 90s, were like, we have to do a throwback to those jerseys, you know?
Those are beautiful jerseys.
Because they had gone away, I think, because there's another... I have a Drazen Petrovic card from 91 sitting over here.
Now you're just bragging, but okay.
But yeah, anyway, going back to Lester Connor. Oh, there's Wardell Curry.
We got a lot of papas in
this is a dad pack.
This is a dad pack.
This is just a classic dad pack.
Shout out to Dale Ellis Jr.
Yeah. I guess you're probably doing Dale Ellis, by the way, chiseled chin.
Yeah, dude. He's like Stonehenge. He's like like
Dale Ellis popping up here looking like an Easter Island head right here in this photo. Anyway, the last one's on this one. Hey! Didn't you mention needing a Tyrone Corbin earlier?
He wasn't quite on the Jazz.
Not yet.
At some point he got there.
Not yet. And then there's an Alex English to round it out. You had a Jazz Super Pack, you said.
I had a Jazz Super Pack, so... I had a Stockton and Malone All-Star card, unheard of, in the same pack.
Two All-Stars in the same pack?
Yeah.
That actually is legitimately not supposed to happen.
It shouldn't. Another Larry Bird, which is decent shape. Then I got a Barkley All-Star card, way off center, but I love this card. It's one of my favorite. One of the first card I bought graded when I got back into collecting cards was this card in like a graded, perfect condition.
Awesome.
Mint slab, and a slab is what you call the case that holds the card. I don't know if we've covered that yet.
No, we hadn't.
Slab. I use the old school rhetoric. I slab. I say, meat stick. I say that's a different thing. I say card case.
We both say bust and spags when we're talking about popping a pack of cards.
Should. Yeah, I agree.
That's one thing we hadn't addressed, but we have found, dear listener, viewer, or whatever, there was it Boys in the Hood? I think it's a clip from Boys in the Hood where Ice Cube says they're playing some. I think they're like shooting dice or something, and he goes like, F this, let's go bust some spags. And it's a term he uses for playing cards. And we've never found that phrase used anywhere else. And so we actually talked about making like a card opening or collecting or just talking about dumb stuff involving cards, like YouTube series before this, that we were going to call Bustin' Spags. But then we felt like we weren't sure if it was like secretly a filthy phrase. But there's nothing, we can't find anything about it. Right, that's the only example I've ever found of the playing cards being referred to as that. So we've kind of just avoided it in the meantime until now. Basically,
I don't think anybody knows enough to catch us to like call us out if it is. You know.
That's what it seems like at least.
Now I've had some interesting events here in this last pack that I've up. One, I have a Tom Chambers and a Clyde Drexler that are pretty good shape. Like good enough, I think, to send in and get them graded.
Oh, awesome!
Which is fun.
And so, what? Even if it's like a lesser player, like a Tom Chambers, who was like great in the '90s, but really forgotten about now. Like, what makes the card worthwhile? Just the overall just quality of the card itself.
Yeah. So this one, it's hard to see, but just based on the other 1,000 cards.
You want to bring it over to the close-up camera?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Oh.
Let's kind of look at the.
I almost dropped it.
Busted it. Centering is pretty good.
Man, Tom Chambers had no hips, did he?
No.
That's a straight up and down dude right there.
He didn't. He got a little belly on him too, doesn't he? He kind of looks like Conan O'Brien a little bit.
He does.
Check out the lady behind him in the red dress with the hair.
Oh yeah.
I wonder what she's doing right now.
That's his mom, and she's like, Tommy,
shoot it, Tommy.
Just shoot the ball, Tommy.
But I'd say the coloring and the surface on that's really good. The centering is, for these cards, that's about as good as you can do.
Yeah.
The corners, there's a little bit of a haircut coming off of that top right corner, but you can just wipe that right off. I've done it a million times. There he goes. Nice. So that one's pretty good. And the Clyde Drexler here is about the same, but. So I got a pack that a lot of these packs are repeats because this is the way they pack the cards, but I've got one that we have not gotten yet.
Really?
And it's just jam-packed with fun stuff. Too bad they're all terribly centered, but got a Sean Elliott rookie card.
Nice.
Sean Kemp rookie card.
Oh.
Super cool card.
Oh, I might want to keep that just because,
The only one in the whole box.
I love Sean Kemp. Obsessed with Sean Kemp and Gary Payton.
Glenn Rice rookie card.
Didn't care as much for Glenn Rice. You can get him out of here.
And then Vinny the Microwave Johnson, Magic Johnson. You may have heard of him.
Was that we got two different Magic Johnson All-Star.
Yep. We got
cards
two in the stack back there.
In the stack back here, which is interesting.
And then I had two league leaders. I got a Steve Kerr 3-point percentage and Rodney McRae minutes played. I don't.
Oh, Rodney Iron Man McRae, I guess.
He played 82 games.
Yep. He would have had to have. Yeah. And he never subbed out. He played all 42 minutes. What 42 minutes? 48 minutes. 82 games.
Went to Louisville, first round, third pick. From Mount Vernon, New York. Had nice stats at this point in his career. And then you had a 3-point percentage leader here, Steve Kerr. You know where Steve Kerr went to college?
Yeah, he went to Arizona.
There you go.
I know that because a horrible story, but his father was a diplomat in the Middle East and was murdered while he was out there. And in like a rivalry game, I think against Arizona State, some Arizona State fans started chanting PLO, Palestinian Liberation Organization, because they were maybe associated with Steve Kerr's father's murder. Like, this is like the worst thing I've ever heard a fan base do. They started chanting PLO, PLO. And so Steve Kerr in college, he dropped like 50 something points on them and just obliterated Arizona State single-handedly. And was just like, and we've seen Steve Kerr now. We know he's a very like calm, level-headed person most of the time. But it was, that was like, Steve Kerr was like, don't disrespect me and my family, and like made him. It's just insane.
That's not your style of humor, but I thought for sure you were going into a joke with that. Like, that's just so far-fetched. Yeah, I mean, it's insane. That's crazy.
Well, the joke being Arizona State basketball.
Fear the beard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I got a chance several years back to see Oklahoma City win. Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden were all still on that team.
Nice.
So I got to see that team, just one game, but just crazy.
Last pack?
Not last pack. No, I've got 4 packs.
4?
Yeah. Sorry, I've been talking too much.
No, you're
I'll
good.
speed through them, but all right. 6'5", 195 from Baylor, drafted first round, pick number 16 by Houston in 1982. Another 1982 draft pick.
How tall is he?
6'5". How do you know it's a he?
6'5", 180 pounds. First round, 1982, 13th pick.
16th pick.
16th pick. To Houston.
From Baylor. I just pulled up the name. I don't know if it's one that we would have guessed because he's not an incredibly notable player. But I will say, better scoring averages than I would have thought.
Oh, man, that's hard. I've got somebody I want to guess, but did he stay in Houston for very long?
No.
Okay.
Whoops. Just 2 years in Houston. Then a few games in Detroit and then sent to Golden State. And by the time this card was made, was in his 6th year at Golden State. Which made me think I might know him, but then I looked at it and I was like, but it is a name. It is a card that we've gotten before. I'll let you ponder it while I go through what we've got here. This is an Alvin Robertson.
Nice transition.
Thank you. There's a big Sammy Perkins.
I love him. Well, this will help me eliminate some people.
Yes. It's not Derek McKee. It's not Puma Pants Richardson.
Oh.
Todd Leakey. This is an almost exact order of a pack that I popped earlier when we were hanging out.
I think they kind of do them half and half.
Yep. Sam Vincent, Charlie Shackelford,
beautiful uniforms.
Kelly Tripucka,
not a bad player.
Nope.
There he is.
Yeah, because there's that Jeff Malone. It's the third Jeff Malone we've gotten. Still to this day, leading scorer in Mississippi State basketball history.
That's right. It's not Charles Smith.
No. Hey, there's a Mitch Richmond.
It's not Mitch Richmond. He never played in Houston.
There's old Purvis Short.
It's not bad.
From Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Played at Jackson State. Hey, there's that checklist again.
Oh, hey, that's not a bad looking checklist.
It's a pretty good looking checklist.
Might send in a few checklists.
Yes. Putting it over here. And it's not Darrell Walker, the league leader for best hands.
Best hands.
This dude's hands, man. Out of control. Best hands.
Is it the next card the guy?
Yeah. This guy could have been a model. This guy could have been a hand model. Darrell Walker. He had the best hands.
The George Costanza Best Hands Award.
Yep.
I don't know. Willie Anderson. Just making that up.
It would have probably been a good guess. There was no way. I set you up to fail because there's no way you would have known it was Terry Teagle.
I wouldn't have known that.
No, not a chance.
We'll do one more on the next pack or the last pack, and we were 2 for 2. The Terry Cummings thing, I was still riding the high from the Terry Cummings thing.
That one was outstanding.
Thanks. When you said DePaul in 1982, it was there, and I was just searching for it.
I don't think I would have gotten that one because I don't know if I would have remembered that Terry Cummings went to DePaul. But
oh yeah, I'm a big Demons fan, and just in general, not DePaul or Duke, just Demons in general.
Demons, yeah. But you know what? Honestly, not a fan. Wake Forest, bunch of posers. Demon Deacons. Psh, get out of here.
It's so confusing. Are you not confused by that? Like, I'm very confused by that.
The only reason I'm not confused by it is because I refuse to waste my brain space on Wake Forest.
Have you ever thought about that? Like, that's such a weird... That could be the weirdest mascot ever. Because it's just a deacon, which is just a random... I'm sure it has something to do with some story. But,
Probably.
But if it didn't, let's just take all of them on face value.
Yep.
It's a person with some standing in a church in general who has been possessed allegedly.
Yeah, so he's a church leader who is actively possessed
by a demon.
Yeah. And that's your mascot.
And that's your mascot.
And you've produced some really good basketball players.
Presbyterian, I think, University, Blue Hose.
Blue Hose,
That's another good one.
That is another good one.
It's HOSE, not HOES.
Right.
All due respect.
All due respect. I got another one that if you don't get this, I'll walk across this room and hit you in the face.
Smack me in the face.
Height 7'1", weight 248. College, did not attend college.
Oh God.
Drafted first round, pick 26 in 1989 by the LA Lakers.
Oh, Vlade Divac.
Yeah, it's Vlade. I told you, I was like, it.
Dude, he's huge. I didn't realize he was that big.
Yeah, and he was one of the first Euro dudes that really kind of like a stretch 4, stretch 5 these days is nothing.
Yeah, right.
But like he was one of the first dudes to come over from Europe and like feel comfortable as a 7-footer, putting up some like mid-range jumpers and all that.
Naismith Hall of Famer Vlade Divac.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, you ready?
Yep. Dude. Stain Boy made this card.
Somebody rubbed coal all over this Dave Wingate card.
David Wingate was a naughty boy this year.
See, there's quote unquote young Bill Winnington.
He's yamming on somebody.
Yep. Nobody.
I see
there was
him.
nobody. And there's Scotty. Way off center.
Yeah, Scotty can't get right in this box.
He just can't.
That's a cool card, though.
It is. It's a good card. It's worth having, like, whichever one of these is the better one. Whoa!
Oh!
Whoa!
Not bad. Hakeem the Dream.
I didn't even notice. There's the insert. And I love this because this is early on, and this is Akeem Olajuwon.
Yeah.
This is before he started correcting people on how to spell his
And
name.
he's got his All-Star jersey on in the All-Star card. Good for him.
That's good. Yeah, you notice this side of the rim a lot closer to the edge than the other side, but all in all, that's yet another one of these All-Stars that we hadn't gotten this one yet.
No, I love that. It's a super cool card.
Yep.
I love all of those. They're great.
Mike Brown.
Way off center.
Sleepy Floyd.
Not too bad.
No, pretty good. Sleepy Floyd. There's another Cliff Livingston.
Almost Dominique. There's Charles Barkley.
Is he out rebounding his own teammate? Is what it looks
I think
like.
that's Johnny Dawkins. Yeah, I
think you're right.
Maybe.
Look at him. He's just like, Johnny, get out.
Get out. Hadn't seen that one yet.
McLeod.
That's a cool card.
There's DJ.
That's not bad looking.
That's a pretty well-centered DJ,
Yeah, he's all right.
There's Jeff Hornacek.
Like him.
I think we got a real raggedy Jeff Hornacek earlier today. Mm-hmm. There's Big Pat.
It's not bad.
No. Dumars. Play a lot.
Solid pack.
Yeah, solid pack. There's old Duck.
I like him.
And there's Vlade.
It's his rookie card, I think.
Second year.
Vlade.
89 Vlade.
Come on, Vlade.
Yeah. Yeah, that Patrick Ewing was pretty well centered. I don't know if that's worth hanging on to.
Yeah.
Any of those worth hanging on to, you let me know. Well, as soon as we're done here, we'll look at all.
We'll circle back.
We'll circle back on them. But what else? How many more you got? You got any more?
done.
You done? All right.
I rolled through them on the lowdown.
Yeah.
Over
You know.
Low key rolled through them.
Low key roll. Mm-hmm. Hit him with that low key roll.
The Loki roll is my favorite Marvel superhero roll that's currently being made.
It's a sushi roll that like has horns on it and
tempura.
And yeah, you think that it's going to taste like one thing, but it tastes like something totally different because it's tricky and it's going to trick you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it tries to steal my precious infinity stones. Don't even. We've talked about this. And I'm not even joking around right now. Like, don't.
All right, I'll speed through the last two packs.
Give me one more guess on out of the two packs.
All right. I'm going to take a look at the backs of both of them and see which one is going to be better. You're not going to get this one. I'd be shocked if you did.
I wouldn't say that.
All right, we're going to go with this.
I'm due.
6'10", 230 from the University of Utah. Drafted first round, pick number 8 by San Diego in 1981.
Give me the height. Give me those demographics again.
6'10", 230 from Ogden, Utah. Went to the University of Utah. In the meantime, gonna roll through the pack itself. There's John Williams. There's Karl Malone.
Nice. 6'10", 230. There he is. Field goal percent
Field
leader.
goal accuracy leader, Mark West.
Can miss him if you don't shoot him. It's not a bad looking card.
Nah, it's a bad looking player.
Yeah, he's just no fun, that guy.
Yep. I'm just going to go ahead and let you know the other pack, the player who was in the back was Blair Rasmussen. And if you were going to guess who Blair Rasmussen was,
there he is.
Then I would have been shocked. But God, Dave Wingate, why are you so dirty?
He's dirty. He's been a naughty, naughty boy.
All these Wingates are filthy.
And it's a shame because he's got his all whites on.
Yep.
Bill Wennington, there's a pip. Just more off center every time.
That means that
I feel like there's less people in the stands too every time. Like there's less people in that one than like they left. They're being knocked off the card. We're out of here.
This is terrible. This guy can't stay in the center at all. Yeah, he's like trying to leave. Like he's actively trying to leave.
There's a guy in a boat. Look at the guy in the boat. There's this guy in like a tuck shirt and a bow tie. What kind of weird The Shining audience is this?
I don't know. And that he's out of focus because he's in the background. But I feel like that is. See, what's the actor that played Ivan Drago?
Oh, I was gonna say the guy that was in The Big Lebowski. That was like the Big Lebowski's assistant in his house. I don't know. I don't know names.
If we've got a Scotty, it means that there's gonna be a Patrick Ewing and like a Kevin Duckworth coming up,
Joe
right?
Dumars,
Yeah, there's a Joe Dumars for sure coming up. Oh no, they threw us for a loop because they gave us a Thurl Bailey
instead of Missy Elliott. That's a cool card with Karl Malone in the foreground. Yeah, that's super cool.
Karl Malone's looking at him like that could have been me dunking that ball.
Oh, hadn't had that.
John Biano.
We haven't seen these yet.
Ron Anderson. I think we might have had one pack way earlier.
Oh yeah, because I remember Werner. Ref keeping up with him. I like
yeah.
That.
Oh, that ref's hunting him down. That ref's like getting that ball.
Oh, Larry that's Magic too. That's Magic Johnson.
Oh yeah, I didn't even notice
that's
that.
That's a super cool car. Yeah.
All right, that was
6'10", 200 and something pounds, 13th pick, Ogden, Utah, 8th pick, San Diego, 1981.
Yep.
Man, that recall, that's a pretty good recall.
Yep. Played in San Diego, played in Seattle before he got to the team that he's on in this card.
Benoit Benjamin?
No. I'll give you one more hint.
Am I close?
I don't know how to answer that question. Close by name, close by appearance, close by...
Yeah, that's the appearance. Does he look like this?
I can tell you what, this guy looks nothing like Benoit Benjamin. And the hint is, this guy...
I'm with you. Ogden, Utah, I shouldn't have guessed that.
This guy got no hips.
Oh, Tommy C.
It's old Tommy C.
Hey, Tommy C. I should have known that with Utah.
Yeah.
Who's a 13th pick?
Yeah. I mean, decent career numbers.
I think he's the highest scoring career high scorer in NBA history to not be in the Hall of Fame. I think that's a thing with him.
It might be. I mean, I'm looking at just the card. First of all, his middle name is Doan? I don't know. But look at that. I mean, 27.2 points per game in the 89-90 season.
Yeah.
25-7 in the year before. Like, always improving.
Huge career. He was an all-star a ton. He had that dunk where he kind of like elevated over the guy to jump twice.
It makes no sense.
He created the jump twice. Like all these movies, you watching all these sci-fi movies, these Ocean's 11s guys jumping around. He created that.
In your mind, is Ocean's 11 a sci-fi movie?
Yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, that guy
it has to be because no one would ever trust George Clooney. I mean...
And it didn't happen, so it's... that guy got in the box, and he lived in it for a long time while I don't know what I'm talking about. But he double jumped that guy. And that was a move in that game, like Lakers versus Celtics or whatever. There were like 4 players with custom moves, or Bulls versus Blazers.
You mean Bulls versus Blazers in the NBA playoffs?
Oh.
That I've literally got sitting right behind me at all times? Talk about collectors, like sentimental like value. Like the amount of hours I spent with my siblings playing this game.
That.
You could create custom teams where you just drafted whatever player you wanted, and you could actually draft the same player over and over again. So I would create a team entirely of Mark Eatons because I thought it was hilarious to have 7'4" dudes all over the place. I might make this theme song the theme song to this episode.
You should. That's smart.
Just because I did it for all my other podcasts I've done in the past, why not do it for this one?
Yeah.
So, all right, last pack.
Last pack. Let me redeem myself. Give me one. Go through it.
Okay.
Hopefully we need another. We're due for another Jordan. We only got 2. I think we're due. That Jordan All-Star sticker's the bomb, but I guess we're not going to land one of those tonight. We'll have to buy multiple boxes to do that.
Man, there's a lot of bad names up in here.
Come on, it's random. I started with Terry Cummings. I got the crowd thinking you got an All-Star card in there? Do I see an All-Star sticker card?
I don't think so. No.
Don't lie to me.
There's no All-Star. There is a checklist in here.
Oh. Yeah.
And there's a couple of league leaders.
Acting like a blackjack dealer over there.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to give you one. All right.
Hit me.
Here we go. 6'5", 215. Went to Moberly Area Junior College and Kansas State University. Drafted first round, pick number 5 in 1988. And I'll hesitate to tell you which team just because I feel like that's going to really give it away. That'll be your hint if you can't figure out what NBA. Now this guy, this is only like his third year. He was drafted 88. This is 1990. So third year out of Kansas State University. 6'5" guard.
That's tough.
In the meantime, look at this checklist.
We've had some pretty popping off That's a beautiful checklist.
Yep. We're going to have like 3 checklists to send out.
We should only send the checklist.
We're going to send the checklist 3 times.
Yeah, if we want to sell the other ones on eBay raw, we can do that. We can just send in every checklist. We just have a wall of checklists. That's all we send in. We just get them all authenticated.
Just a bunch of Jim Mint 10 checklists. They're gorgeous. They're our pride and joy. We show them off to anyone that comes by. This is a much better Purvis Short.
Oh, yeah.
Purvis Short, we of course like because he is a Mississippian.
I think
went to Jackson State.
Greg Kite and Scott Skiles might be there in the background. Maybe I'm reading into that a little too much.
Oh, that's definitely Scott Skiles.
Yeah.
I've seen Scott Skiles.
And that's probably Terry Catledge, third on the
Probably
bench
so.
there.
I've seen Scott Skiles yawn like that during many a game he's coached.
And Jerry Seinfeld's right there right behind him. Kansas State, you say. 6'5", you say.
Yeah.
1988. Man.
I'll tell you who it's not. It's not Mr. Best Hands.
Hey, that one's pretty, it's a little off center.
It's pretty How quickly you got less interested in that.
Kansas State.
Yeah. I mean, I got that one extra hint I can give you, but I think who he plays for, I think will give it away because he's a guy who's most affiliated with the team that he was drafted by.
Man, it's not 6'5", such a weird height. I don't know, and I'm very sad. And I wanted to say Craig Elo, but he was like 6'3", so it's not him. Mitch Richmond, I don't know.
Yeah, it's Mitch Richmond.
Yes! That's how you pull it out.
It was Mitch Richmond.
Heck yeah, dude.
I like
pushing the tempo.
Yeah.
Oh, he's the only guy I could think of was 6'5", but I was
Yep.
like, he didn't go to Kansas State.
Yeah,
But yeah, he
Moberly Area Junior College in Kansas State.
did. Nice.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
The legend.
The legend. The legend of Mitch Richmond. So in this, I mean, we got
some fun stuff.
We did. We got some fun stuff, and we got every checklist you could ever ask for. We didn't really show off the Jordans that we got
we should do
out
those.
of this.
Show
So
those,
we'll close it out by showing off the Jordans.
We should just play some like really sad Coldplay or something and show these in slow motion. Like if you edit this at all.
I think that we should just sing some Coldplay right
Hit it.
now.
You start it now.
Fix You, okay?
Yep.
I'm
not doing that.
I'm not doing that.
That one, that's the bad one, huh? Yeah. Burns, and I will try to fix You got Pippin in the background. They're playing the Knicks. I think you got a Budweiser advertisement. That's a cool car.
It's a cool car.
It's like he's straddling. It's like he's going to come out of the car and jump over his name.
Yep.
That's a super cool car.
This one is, this one's the one I think was a little bit better centered.
Yeah, top a little. It's not perfect, but
No, neither of them are.
big beauty though. If you could just take them and average them both.
That's it then.
That's it.
That's
we did it.
that we popped an entire pack of cards tonight, and I got to tell you, I had a blast.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean,
Unapologetically.
I started with Terry Cummings. The world thinks I'm a genius. I flop on a couple. Should have known TC. Tom Chambers. Ended it with just a flippant Mitch Richmond, and I'm proud of myself. And I would do it all again if I had the chance.
I've always said that a flippant Mitch Richmond is the best version of Mitch Richmond. Then that'll close things out.
Sounds good.
Yeah, we're no more closing thoughts. We're done with this nonsense. Thanks for tuning in. That was my friend, C Cards Alexander, Shark Harvey, preferred eBay seller. Follow him on Instagram, CCA Yes, to see some of his collection in action.
Yep.
And I'm your friend, Joseph Craven. Thanks for joining.